Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a witch's hat. Because obviously making the adult's hat, this is what the adult's hat is, this sort of size, takes a lot longer. I'm just going to demonstrate with you how to do the small one, because the increases just keep going on exactly the same way as you go along. And this one here is just to show you. This is actually just done in a thicker yarn, and it's actually stiffer, so it gives you a better result, I think. But the choice is yours, and I'm going to be demonstrating in a double knit yarn today, which I've got here. It's a double knit yarn in grey. This is one of the ones that I actually picked up from Aldi, for those of you that shop there. And you're also going to need a different coloured strand of yarn for a marker, unless you've got those little clips that you can use. And because I'm using the double knit yarn, I'm actually using the 4mm hook, which is a G6 in the US. So if you wanted to do it with the thicker yarn, then this is an Aran yarn, so you'd actually use a 5mm hook. Okay, so I'll just begin. I did notice as well that when I was reading some of my comments, because I love to read the comments, I was actually asked if I could actually do my twist beginning a little slower so I can show you what I'm doing. So first of all, I'm getting my tension on my hand, and then you get your hook, and you've got this triangular shape here. So you put your hook in there, and then you sort of push to the right hand side, unless you're left-handed, you're doing it the opposite way around. And then you're going to do an anti-clockwise circle, so you go all the way around to the top again. Yeah, so if I undo it, you can see it's just one full turn. Okay, so hopefully that'll get you going. And I'm just going to hold on to the twisted bit there, and to begin this pattern we're going to begin with a chain of 2. So it's, she says I can't even do it. 2, and into the first chain we're going to work 4 stitches, and we're going to be using the single crochet if you're in the US, or the double crochet if you're in the UK. So into this first chain we're going to work 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. We don't slip stitch to join on the rounds on this pattern, okay, and we're working with the 4 times table, so all of our increases are actually going to be on the 4th stitch. So now what we do for the second round is we're just going to do 1 single crochet or 1 double crochet in each stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now it does give you this strange little screwed up ball, and if you're not used to crocheting you may find it a little bit difficult, but persevere. So now what you want to do is you want to find the next stitch, so make sure you go underneath 2 strands. Your top strand will probably come closer to the strand that's already on the hook, and we're now going to work 2 stitches in each stitch, so we've got a total of 8. So that's 1, 2, and then the next stitch, say it's folded over, so we've got to be careful sort of tucking underneath our work. Make sure you've got your 2 strands on your hook. 3, 4, and the same again, it's tipped over underneath the 2 strands. 5, 6, and then this one's easier to see, it's still tipped over. 7 and 8. And now it has got easier to see because it's getting bigger, so we just want to do 1 stitch in each of our stitches. As you can see, you try and pull at your work, you can actually see your next stitches over there. So that's 1, 2, I'm sorry, I just need to pull some yarn, my tension's really tight. That was 2 stitches. 3, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now at this point what you want to do is you want to just pull up your yarn that you're actually working with and put your hook out of the way. Pull your tail end nice and tight and then turn your work so that you're actually working the right way round, and you'll have your little point that's, well, it fits my finger. I don't know whether it'll fit yours, it depends how big your finger is, but anyway. And then what I'm going to do it from this point onwards is underneath the 2 strands that you've got here of your last stitch, put your hook into there and then get your coloured yarn and pull that through, just so that you know exactly where you're going to be working from, and it just makes it easier as you go around. Okay, so I'm just going to get my tension back again. So on this round what we're going to do is we're going to work 1 stitch there, and then we're going to work 2 into the next. We're going to do that all the way around, so you go 1, and this one has the 2 in it, and then you do 1 single crochet sorry, and then into the next stitch we're going to work 2 stitches, so that's 1, 2, into the next one we're just doing 1, in the next one we're doing 2, that's the 2 stitches, and then we're doing 1 stitch, and the final increase is going to be where you've actually put your marker. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. Just going to pull some more yarn. Now each time, every single round that you finish your round, you need to pull up your yarn and then get your hook. You can go through the back or you can go through the front, it's up to you, and then you need to pull the yarn back through again, because you always need to know where that last stitch is on each round. Put your hook back in, and this round is just going to be just a single crochet or a double crochet all the way round, and we should have a total of 12 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the 12th stitch is where we've got the marker point. Okay, and we're at the end of the round, so pull up your yarn, pull that out of the way, go underneath the 2 stitches of the last stitch that you've done, and pull your marker yarn back through. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to form like a running stitch as you go along. So on this round we're going to do increasing again, so we're going to work 2 stitches normally, and then we're going to do an increase in the 3rd stitch. So we're going to go 1, 2, the next one we work 2 stitches. I like to say 3, 4 on this round, otherwise I can get myself confused. And then it's 1, 2, and the increase here 3, 4, 1, 2, then the increase 3, 4, 1, 2, and the final increase is where we've actually got our marker from the previous round, so that's 3, 4, and the same again at the end of every round. I know this can be a bit fiddly and a bit time consuming, but the results are very worth it. I don't know if that was a correct sentence. The results are very worth it. The results are worth it. And pull that tail end through. And so on this round, so we always do an increase round, and then we just do just a normal round where we just work all the way around. So this one, we should have, so it's gone 4, 8, 12, so we should have 16 this time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sorry, I've got a tickle there, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Okay, just getting myself some more yarn. So I'm at the end of the round, so I pull up my tail end, put my hook through the very last stitch that I've created, pick up my marker yarn and pull that through. So on this round we're going to work 3 stitches before we do an increase. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and this one here with the 2 in there is 4, 5. We'll do the same again. 1, 2, 3, and the increase 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and an increase 4, 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, and the final increase on this round with my marker point 4, 5. Do the same again, pull the tail end up. I'm going to put my hook through from the front this time, pick up the tail end from the back, pull it back through, pull this end nice and tight again to keep my tension, and this round we're just going to work a single crochet or a double crochet all the way round, and we'll have a total of 20. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the last one into the marking point is 20. Okay, so every single round that what we're doing is we're actually doing an increase round and then just a plain stitch around, which then that gives you that cone shape that you're looking for to be able to create your witch's hat, or it could be for a wizard as well. I don't want to be accused of being unfavourable towards the boys. And so what I need to do, I've got to the end of my round and I need to put the hook in, pull the tail end through, and so this round we need to do 4 stitches before we do the increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I like to just keep on my numbers, so it's 5, 6, because 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We're using the 4 times table throughout for this one. So then we just go back to the beginning again of go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the increase. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we are, back to the beginning again. This is the last one. 5, 6. Okay, pull up my tail end, put my hook through the very last stitch that I've done. Careful not to get that tail end tangled up. Pull my coloured yarn through, and this round is just going to be where I just work all the way around. And so we should have 24 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, just getting some more yarn, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And pull my yarn up, put my hook through the very last stitch that I've created, pick up my coloured yarn, and pull that through. And so this round we're going to do an increase round. And so this time we're actually now up onto our 7 times table, so we're going to do 5 stitches and the increase will be 6, 7. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one's 6, 7, and the same again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do the increase, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll do my increase, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last increase is where we've got a mark stitch, that's 6, 7, pull my tail end up, put my hook through the very last stitch that I've just created, pick up the tail end of my coloured yarn and pull that through, put my hook back in and create my tension again. And so 4 times 7 is 28. So as we work around this time, we'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 and 28. So you can keep on doing that. So each time you go up each round, so your increase is always going to be, so as we've seen, with what we've done is we've done 1, 1, 2, and then we've done 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, so it increases like that all the way around, and because you've started off with 4, you're always going to be working up in your 4 times table. So this is one of those ones which will help you learn your 4 times table if you don't know it, and you can always print off the 4 times table to help you as a guide for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my marker point to this one, and saying for you to keep on growing bigger, you just keep on going and going and going until you end up doing so you can actually single crochet 20 and then do an increase, and then do another 20 and increase, and as you get bigger and bigger, depending on how big you want to go. And I will also say at this point as well is that if you actually measure the circumference of your hat and you think, oh, I need it to be this big because this is how big my head is, this one doesn't work like that, because your head is obviously going to be, this is going to be the biggest point on here, but if you push your head in, it's actually going to stretch these out, so you end up with this strange bulge. So you actually need to make your hat bigger than your head for it to be able to sit nicely. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how to make yourself come out to be able to make the brim around the edge. So to do this, what you're going to do is for whichever row you decide that my hat is now big enough, what you do is you do one row where you work underneath the first strand of your stitch. Okay, so it'll be always at the front of each one. Okay, so that's what we're doing, is we're working under the front loops of each of the stitches all the way around, and this causes the edge to then stick out to where you want it to start changing its direction of where it's going. So for one whole round, all you do is you just work all the way around the edge, just doing a set of 1 single crochet or double crochet in that stitch all the way around. I normally count this, but because I've already started, I'm not going to. But if you look at your work, if I just pause a minute, if you look at your work, you can actually see that you're starting to get this little ridge underneath there, and this is starting to kick out. So we just want to keep on going all the way around, just with 1 stitch in each of your stitches underneath the front loop of each stitch all the way around. And then when we get to the end of this round, that's where we actually start to do an increase again. But this round is a little bit slower to do, but just because you're manipulating it and going underneath the 1 loop rather than the actual 2. Okay, so hopefully it won't take long. I didn't think about what I could say at this point. I could say, oh, I've read all of your comments, every single one of them. I'm sorry I'm not replying to anybody, but I feel like if I reply to somebody, I end up getting into a chatty conversation, and you know how terrible I am for talking. So, and then it becomes really unfair. So I don't talk to anybody, and then it's fair for everybody. So here I am right at the end. I'm just going to do the one in that one loop there because that was the last round that I finished on. Okay, and so we've gone all the way around and you've got this little ridge inside, and then I've just moved that, tuck that tail in there, you can see that ridge that's formed there. And then for this next round, I've tried different ways. I've found that it was easier to do 2 stitches actually in each of the stitches all the way around, and then just do 1 stitch in each of my stitches after that, so that you because if you do too many of the increases, you end up with a really floppy brim. But that's, I suppose that just depends on you, on what you would like. So you can do the increase round for this one round, and then for the next rounds after that you don't need to do any increases for a little bit. But if I just stop and I show you on this blue hat, because I actually went too far, it's actually started to like curl upwards in rather than sitting flat as it sticks out. And realistically I should have undone that row and actually done an increase in it, but I thought I'm going to finish it and leave it just so that I can actually show you what happens, so that you can see for yourself. And on the black hat, because this was a thinner yarn, it didn't stick out quite the same and it made quite a floppy edge, but I actually quite like that. So I'm just going to carry on doing this increase round, because as you can see it's already starting to stick out. And I thought about it actually when I sat down to actually do the video. I was like, oh, I haven't actually done anything to decorate the hat. And so I thought I'll explain to you what you need to do if you would like to go and find some stars, because obviously I've already made some stars when I was making something else. I think, was it doing the Converse slippers when I did that? I don't know, it's such a long time ago when I did those. But anyway, so what you have to do to be able to find my other patterns on YouTube is to click on my name. So underneath the video you'll see it says Karen's channel, and if you click on Karen's channel, what happens is it'll open you up a new page and you'll get a list, and you'll be able to see like a little picture at the side of it and then the written word of whatever my patterns are. But rather than having to search through, I think there's like 4 or 5 pages worth of videos now, the easiest way to find it is when you've got that page that's open and you've got all your list, at the top, I think it's towards the right hand side, you can just see like a little question mark and there's a box. If you just write star in that box, then theoretically it should bring you up my stars, so that then you can actually find my crochet star pattern. And it's just a lot easier because I can't even remember the title of the video. I say it was one of those like a last minute thing that I thought about as I was actually, I'd got everything all set up, and I thought, oh, you know, maybe you want to decorate it with some stars. You obviously might not want to do it in grey. I've just chosen the grey because it was just a nice colour to be able to see, because I know that the black is really hard to actually show up on a video properly. So I chose the grey because I just thought, and it fits on my doll nice, so and because I've got a set of dolls, I will end up now with at least 2 of my dolls will have some hats to be able to wear. And maybe well, obviously I can make different hats, but I just thought I'd just share with you how to do this. And then I know it's early for Halloween, but Halloween's a seasonal thing, so theoretically I probably won't it won't be like a video that you go to all the time, like, oh, I want to make one of those hats for a baby. But then you might actually want to make one for, you know, the photographers that want to do photo shoots with babies and things. So you can just keep on increasing. I meant increasing like the size wise to make a bigger hat. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop here a minute, because on this next row I would just crochet all the way around just with 1 stitch in each of them, just to keep it at that nice flat finish. You know how it's sitting nicely sticking out. And so the next bit I want to share with you is when you've finished, I know it's really tempting just to pull this, because all it's done effectively is just woven all the way through. But if you've accidentally caught it somewhere, then you'll make yourself a really big hole in your work. So I'm going to say to you, I'm recommending that you actually use your hook, or you can actually use the back end of your darning needle just to undo this, so that, because it will leave you a little hole, but that little hole settles down. And if you just pull at it and you make yourself a really big hole, it'll be really disappointing for you to ruin your work after all of the effort, because especially if you're making a big one, it's going to take you quite a few hours to crochet the bigger hats. And as you can see, look, when I've pulled that out, that is actually left me some holes. But as you manipulate it and pull it all and put it into shape, they will all disappear so that you can't see that so much. And probably would be better off to use a thinner yarn really to prevent that actually from happening at all. But there you go. That's how to crochet a witch's hat, or a wizard's hat if you want to call it. But I was always sure that the wizard didn't actually have the brim on the edge, but then I could be wrong. So there you go. I hope you like it. It's a cute little witch hat, so that you can actually, like I said, you can put it on an Alice band. You can actually stuff it if you wanted to. And another thing that you can do, I'll just show you with this tail end that I've got, where you've got these loops to have left on the inside of your hat, you can actually put your hook through and get your yarn and pull it through there, and then get your two ends, I hope you can see this properly, and pull that through. So you make like a little loop, and you can make yourself, if you do it all the way around, you can make yourself some coloured hair that dangles down from it. So there's lots of things that you can do with it. So I thought it was a nice adaptable one, and I've put it up early so that you've got plenty of time if you'd like to make yourself a set, or you know, if you've got like a children's charity group or something you'd like to work for, and you think, oh, actually, you know, that'd be really nice to have some different hats, and I can put the different colours in for the different hair, and make the stars. So, you know, it's obviously it's a time consuming thing, so I thought I want to make sure you've got plenty of time to be able to make them all in time for Halloween for your dressing up things. Okay, so thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing, thank you all for your lovely comments. I do read them all, and bye for now.